Hello and welcome to this glorious mess. We're embracing the chaos together, ditching the judgment. I'm Annalise Todd, single parent of tween-aged boys, lover of communal living and very, very much in need of a holiday.
I love your full descriptions every episode. I am Tegan Natali and I have said from day dot that mums don't get holidays on holidays. So if you're taking that holiday, make it child-free.
I have one of those coming up. Sorry to humble brag.
Great.
Because today on the show, we're actually talking about holidays, or more specifically, group holidays. So many things that can happen. Many dynamics.
There's so many things.
Because the long summer school break is approaching.
Yep.
So there's a good chance that you'll find yourself in a 12-person house, whether it's squeezing in with extended family or planning a getaway with friends. These trips away come with a few surprises because you end up learning a lot about the people that you end up living with, that you shouldn't really be living with. Also, it brings up clashes of parenting styles.
Oh, yeah.
As well, because when you're all sharing that space for an extended period, usually people are concealed in their homes, and most families are, above all, small groups of people behaving rudely together and at the core of it are pretty weird.
Well, everyone's got their weird little things that usually stay in their own household. But when you're on a family holiday,
the family mask drops.
Yeah.
What will be revealed could be devastating, friendship ending.
It's very dramatic for a family holiday.
I have had some really awkward family communal holidays.
Yeah, and I find, have you ever had a fight on a family holiday? Like, has it ever turned out in a fight?
Yes.
I feel like sometimes it could be stirring the pot sometimes. It's like, let's put them all, it's like Big Brother, let's put them all in the same room and see what happens.
Totally.
Who will get evicted?
And as always, we'll hear from our friend Sarah Marie and how parents in Australia are wrangling dinner time. But first, here's what's happening in my group chat. So, Teagues, something me and my girlfriends have been discussing and dissecting this week is a mum has come out and said her child identifies as an animal. So this is a relatively new concept to me. I'd never heard of it because I'd heard of furries because that's a thing in schools where people are literally putting out bowls of water for kids. But this is different to furries. They're called therians, and they're a community of people who identify as non-human animals, either spiritually or psychologically. Furries have a strong interest in fictional animal characters with human traits and dress up as animals for more creativity or fandom and social expressions. But therians view their animal identity, also known as their stereotype, as part of their self-identity. So a therian who identifies as a wolf may feel strong instincts of loyalty, protectiveness and a deep connection to nature.
Oh, okay. But they don't walk around like animals?
They do. In the example that I saw this week that me and my girlfriends were talking about, she was wearing an animal mask. It would be very difficult. Imagine,
where does it stop?
But if your child, but what I loved was this mum was so supportive because if your child came to you and said this to you, like how would you react, honestly?
I would probably say, do you want a dog? Like, do you?
But if that is honestly how they're feling inside and they strongly felt.
And a connection to an animal, yeah.
But if they felt like they were that animal.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what I would do.
I would struggle. I would try and remain very impartial and supportive, but I would find it hard.
I would find it very hard. I don't think any parent is like ready for their child to be, hey, I think I'm a cat.
Is this a relatively new thing?
Is it a specific animal?
No, there's different animals that they can feel a kinship to.
Okay. And when they fill out a form for school enrolment, what do they tick?
It might be other.
And then they say they're a therian?
Possibly. I think the teachers would have to be on board, wouldn't they? And the other, it's a brave new world.
Mom, where's the charger?
No, you know what this reminds me of? Sorry, I know the kids are calling. But that funny lady that goes on Instagram and she says, what? I have to have the babies, then I've got to cook the dinners. I'm coming back as a tree. So I identify as a tree. So that I don't have to cook, don't have to parent, just get off.
Be like a tree.
Yeah. I have a deep connection with the workload of a tree.
So, Teagues, you know I love a commune. I love a communal living.
You're the queen of commune, shall we call you?
Commune holidays.
Yep.
But even I have limits because when you go on a group holiday with other people, it can really reveal some confronting things because your family and the way that you behave behind closed doors in private is very different to how you are in the public-facing world. And there's so many different types of families. There's naked families.
Yeah.
There's farting families.
Oh, yeah.
There's families that wee with the door open. There's families that have,
I feel like I'm all of those families you've mentioned so far.
no issue with some swear bears. And also
Yes.
parenting styles and boundaries and rules. Some people might not be allowed sugar, refined sugars. Some people might not be allowed to watch
Or
certain...
we don't say no, or like that kid's allowed an iPad, that kid's not.
or video games, violent video
Yes.
games, or movies that it might be age inappropriate, which
it does get a bit tricky, especially with kids, I reckon.
definitely.
We do a lot of group holidaying, whether it's with my family, Jason's family, or friends and their kids. I love a group holiday, but I must have our own space, our own family space. So
Like an own living room.
no, like let's all stay at the same place, but we're like in our own areas. Does that make sense?
So you wouldn't share like one giant house with people?
we have, but I think depends on the amount of people that you're holidaying with.
Because if you are sharing and you're all under the same roof, you don't ever have any space.
No, and I think Jason's family's much bigger than mine, so that's almost impossible to do with his side. We've done homes before, but it's like as the kids get bigger, it's kind of bursting at the seams a little bit.
I do love when all the kids run around in packs
Agree.
and they have that real commune. It's a very messy level of intimacy.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. And I think even when you do, like, even if you're holidaying together but living separately in those holidays, there's always the communal spot. Do you know what I mean? So, like, we're all together, but then you still have a place where you can go, oh, we're going to bed now. And, like, you can go off and you've got your own bathroom and maybe a little
Yeah.
kitchen or table or TV, you know, like your own little house within the house.
One of my favourite commune holidays was when I went to Bali and I went with my original like high school girlfriends and their partners and all the kids, and there was another single mum on the trip, and we had we called it the Patty and Selma Villa because it was the two single mums and the kids.
But that's the amazing thing about places like Bali, because you can get like these monstrous villas.
It wasn't monstrous.
Oh, it wasn't?
No, because it was just me and another single mum and then 4 kids.
Oh, cool.
And then all the other families weren't single parents and they all had their villas, but all of the villas were joined with fences. So the kids just ran around like free range commune, hopping from villa to villa. And I had other adult company in my villa with another single mum, the Patty and Selma Villa.
Yeah.
And that was one of the best commune holidays I think I've ever been on. I've had some doozies. I've had some Orkies once.
Oh, yeah? Spill?
Yeah, like years ago, I went away with like a whole group of friends and like, partners and kids. And you just see that you've got different values. And so, for example, me and one of the girlfriends, like we'd obviously had drinks the night before. We'd wake up, we'd hop into bed together, me and the girlfriend, have a coffee, scroll Instagram, have a giggle. And another woman was up cooking 3 different types of breakfasts, separating egg whites and cooking her husband and her children breakfast at Sparrows while I was still on Instagram having a coffee.
And did you feel like a loser?
Well, I just felt like I'm not
You felt like I'm being judged?
Well, look, and I have since got divorced, so I don't if that's an issue. But you sort of look at that and you go, "Oh wow, they're a really good person."
It either makes or breaks like either your perception of someone or yourself, right? Because we just did a school holiday trip down to a caravan park, and I think there were 20 kids and 16 adults.
That's
and
fun.
We
though.
all had our own little cabin things. But I never nap, right? And I was thinking, oh my gosh, this holiday is going to like kill me. Like, because there's so many kids. It's like going to be nonstop. And I napped. Like, I was like, do you know what? My kids are somewhere. They're with someone, like, because there was so many of us all together, like staying side by side. And if I knew my kids would be next door or whatever, like, or Jason's taking them over to the water park or whatever. And for the first time in my life, I actually napped 3 days in a row. I came home from a children's holiday at the caravan park, like rejuvenated. I was like, wow.
This is the beauty of the communal holiday because
Yes.
it's also, it takes us back to tribal times where everyone,
Actually,
the village,
yes.
everyone mucks in and you do actually get breaks because many hands make light
Yeah,
work.
I agree. And my side of the family, my dad pays for a big family holiday every 2 years, which is great. Of course, you love it when it's all
Yes,
covered.
definitely.
Because my brother lives in Queensland. So somewhere in Australia, we all get together for, 5 nights or something. And what we've learnt to do in those special holidays is give each other a minute too. So like my brother and his wife don't have a lot of help up in Queensland. So we're like, you guys go for a date night. Like you're on holidays. Yes, we're on this big family holiday, but go have a night. Like you wouldn't usually get a chance to do that.
No.
So
I think it's so important to carve out your own time in those group holidays.
yes.
And to sort of have that roster situation and also have some time for your own family as well is important.
Yeah. And I think if you work it the right way, it can take the pressure off, why don't we'll do breakfast this morning and then maybe someone else is responsible for breakfast. So you're actually getting a morning off or, like group, like when we were down the caravan park, we'd be like, okay, we'll do dinner tonight because we've brought all these groceries and someone will say, well, we've done breakfast or whatever. So the commune does come alive when there are a lot of people.
Hi, it's Sarah Marie.
Hi, Sarah Marie. I need you to settle something for me. My partner and I are arguing because our 4-year-old is convinced that there is a ghost in the house, telling us about the conversations she's having with them and when they're in their room. Our lease is up and we can either stay or move. I kind of want to move, but my partner thinks I'm being ridiculous. What do you think?
Move. Why are you still even in this house? If my 4-year-old was saying they were having a conversation with a ghost, I'm sorry, I don't know enough in this world to confidently say that I don't believe in ghosts. I am one of these people that I'm going to say it. I do believe whether ghost is like an afterworldly spirit or whatever it is, I do kind of believe in an afterlife. So I think if a child, which is a very innocent being, I think a lot of people think they've got imaginary friends, but it could be a ghost. It would be enough for me to say, okay, no, if my kid is talking to a ghost, there's a possibility my kid is scared, whatever it is, I'm moving house because it could actually be a ghost. I mean, I'm going to sound so silly to some people, but that would be enough for me. And if it's not a ghost and it might be a story your 4-year-old's making up because they don't like being in that house, that also is enough for me to move. So I think if you're on board with moving, it's a lease, you haven't bought the house, I think you need to convince your husband you guys have to go. You should move. Definitely move. Gonna sage that house and move on. Spray holy water everywhere. I don't know what you're going to have to do. Burn incense.
Circling back to when it doesn't work.
Oh yeah. Okay, you love you love when things don't work, don't you?
I'm an absolute creep. Because the thing about other people's kids is, especially in lots of accelerated time, other people's kids can be really annoying. And you might not find that out until you're
stuck with
balls
them.
deep in the holiday.
Oh, yeah.
And then what do you do?
Well, that's
the
when you
other
go
thing
have
is,
some quiet time and take a nap.
what if you are a resting YouTube lounging kind of holiday family, but you've paired up with a high octane going for a run at 5 a.m.
Yes.
intense energy activity family? That's a clash. So I think it's really important to align intensity values before the holiday, because you don't want to be trying to rest and watch YouTube or let the kids, obviously, while you nap, when the others are just wanting to be at theme parks at 5 a.m.
That's very important.
Also, another clash is when people don't muck in for dishes and you find that one person or one family's letting down the commune. Not pulling their weight.
And I think you need to consider, are you a beach family or a pool family? Are you a stay out in the sun all day family or, have tea inside family.
Also budgets as well.
Oh,
You need
totally.
to have a chat about budgets because some people might have much bigger budgets and some people are on different budgets. So if they're expected that we're going out for expensive wood-fired
Yes.
pizzas with the kids and giving them steak every night,
Yeah.
that might not align with your budget.
Agree.
So
And
these are the kind of things you need to discuss before you find yourself on the holiday.
Well, I gather you've done some research.
I have done some
Okay.
research.
So I think you've found something that might be good for us to base our future group holidays on.
I thought you'd never ask. So according to Sherman's Travel, their top tips to surviving group travel, and it's what we talked about is determine compatibility. So are you morning people, late night party animals, on par parenting styles, levels of free range to helicopterism.
But see, this is fun for me because I'm quite free range, but I love holidaying with a helicopter mum because I know that she's got my kids.
Oh yeah, they're just going to be chopping and flying around them.
I'm like, I'm off the hook. Have fun with my kids. Yeah, I'm like, this is the best holiday ever. Helicopter away. Yeah.
That's actually a really good point.
So, that's a yin and yang situation there.
Could work in your favour.
And, maybe I can stay up late and party and then she'll make my kids breakfast in the morning when I'm hungover.
Or scrolling
Perfect.
Instagram in bed.
Love a
having
helicopter
coffee.
mum. Yeah.
So be willing to compromise. Come up with a bucket list of activities each member of the group wants to have before leaving.
That's a great idea.
And schedule alone time or time
Yes.
with just your family, time for the grown-ups to go out, taking turns with the kids.
Mm.
Know your limits and boundaries. So if you're on a budget, have those discussions first before you go. It's not awkward.
I feel like we've covered a lot of this. Look at us. We are professional group holiday advisors.
We are travel enthusiasts, and keep an open mind. There's always going to be roadblocks. There's always going to be things that pop up on a holiday, and your trip should be about having fun with your friends and making memories. So don't sweat the small stuff. Don't be the negative Nancy.
Yeah, and you know what? That happens on my family holidays because we're all quite banterish. Like we all love to take digs at each other. But once you're together for 5 full days or nights, like my poor sister-in-law, she's so sweet, and I think she gets trauma every time we go on my family holidays because my brother and my mum and dad and I, we just spend the whole time like taking digs, and she's like, oh my God, it's so damaging. And I'm like, actually, after 5 days or 5 nights, that would be a lot.
Well, just have a think about the introverts in these situations. I do feel for the introverts because if you need alone time to recharge and you're on a group holiday, good luck.
Good luck. The spas are that away.
I just remembered the worst holiday story. It
Oh,
just
God.
popped into my head.
Oh my gosh, go.
This was many years ago and it was a commune holiday, and it was one of our friends' family's properties. So
Yep.
as in they knew, it wasn't like an Airbnb, like not a random house. It was their family's property. And it was with children, but we'd obviously had a few, like drinky poos with the grown-ups. And then the next morning we woke up and someone, and it definitely was not child-like size,
Oh my God,
smell.
I know what you're going to say.
Somebody weed on the carpet.
Oh, we?
A wee, not a poo.
Oh, thank God.
Someone weed on the carpet, and nobody took ownership of the wee.
They might not have remembered. Look, I've done some sleep.
Sleep wheeze
Some drunken sleep.
on carpets.
Oh, far worse. But we'll save that for another episode.
So what we ended up doing is me and my girlfriend, whose family's house it was, we were scrubbing the wee out, and I just remember like retching, being a bit dusty.
Oh, and it would have been alcoholic wee too.
Man wee.
Oh, even worse.
Wasn't a
They
girl
wouldn't have
wee.
hydrated. It would have been really yellow.
So that's my worst story.
Oh, that's a bad holiday. 'Cause
See,
like,
can go wrong.
like, I'm happy to change someone else's kid's nappy on a holiday, but like it was someone's grown person's wee.
In carpet, not
No,
fine.
Thank you.
Today we've discussed the pros and cons of communal holidays. I feel the pros far outweigh the cons.
I agree. So, I must say, my fondest memories as an adult are on communal holidays, and my fondest memories as a child are on communal holidays. And, that's why we love the bougie ones, but you've got to do the grassroots, memory stuff for the kids that they love. The outdoors,
And they all
activities.
become like a little tribe.
Oh,
It is building core memories for life.
it's gorgeous.
So it's worth putting up with a bit of the awkwardness for the grown-ups.
Oh, I think a little bit of awkwardness is good for you, isn't it?
Well, it does create
Gets
great
you
stories.
out of your comfort zone. Yeah. What would we be talking about today without it?
Exactly. Thank you for listening to this glorious mess. We hope you enjoyed the episode, and we'd love it if you left a rating or review if you love the show. And if you've got a dilemma that you'd like Sarah Marie to solve, you can leave us a voice note by following the link in the show notes, or get in touch at tgm@mamamia.com.au, or you can jump on the socials.
This episode was produced by Grace Rouvray with audio production by Lou Hill.
See you next time.
Bye.